Okay, let's look at surface area. So total surface area and lateral surface area. So you should have torn out pages 260 and 261. So up here at the top, let me just make it just a little bit smaller. Make sure I had my pages. So up here at the top, you have two problems. This one, you have to find the total surface area, and that means that you have to find all of the lateral sides, which are the four faces here, plus the two bases. Then when it asks for lateral, that's including the sides, faces, and not the base. So you don't want to include the base. So total, everything with the bases, lateral, the faces without the base or bases, depending on what it is. So let us look at this one. So if we look at this first problem, it says that in this net, rectangles A, B, and C are congruent. That means that all three of these are equal. They're the same. Okay? That means their dimensions are the same. And we know that to find the area of rectangles, we must use base times height. So therefore, if we're looking at this, the base of each one of these is 5. And then the height of each one of these would be 2. So when we find it for one, we have found it for all three of them. So when we do 5 times 2, 5 times 2 gives us 10. So that means that for one rectangle, it is 10. That means all of them would be congruent. So here, A is 10 square feet, B is 10 square feet, C is 10 square feet. Therefore, the lateral surface area of this prism is 30 square feet.
Good afternoon. Pardon the interruption. Just a quick message.
Had to pause that for a moment. But now, this is our total. So it's 30 square feet. Now, if we were finding total area, surface area, that means that we would find these three plus the two triangles. But all they asked us for were the sides, the faces, not the bases. Here where it says explain the steps for finding it, it just means that all you're doing is explaining, okay, what I would do is find the area of the base and then find the area of my three faces and add them together. Okay? Now, I want to look at page 261. I'm trying to figure out hurry up before the announcements come on in about 5 minutes to dismiss you guys. But it says the net for a candy box is shown. So if the triangular ends of this box are torn out, so that means they get rid of this and they get rid of that. So you're not finding total, you're finding the lateral. That means only the sides. So how do we do that? It didn't tell us that all of these were congruent, but I can see that this is 5 here. Let me just highlight it. This one has a base of 10 and then a height of 5. Just like this one has a height of 5 and a base of 10. So those two are congruent. So I know that A is equal to base times height. So once I find it for one, I have found it for two of them. So the area of those two would be 50 square inches. So this one's 50 and this one is 50. Now I can see that this one is a little different. Let me make sure I get that marker out of the way. This one here, even though it has a base of 10, look at what the height says. The height says that it is 6. So that means that one's going to be just a little bit different. Area is equal to base times height, and I'm always writing my formula. And so the base is 10 and my height is 6. Therefore, my area is 60 square inches. So this one's 60. Now, if I add all of those up, that will give me a total of 160 square inches, because 50 and 50 is 100, plus 60 is 160. 160. Let me say it correctly. Okay. Looking at number 4. So it says a sketch of the net of a triangular pyramid is shown. So this base is an equilateral triangle. That means that all 3 sides will be congruent. So that means if this side is 6, this side is 6, that side is 6. So let's figure out, first of all, what is the area of that base? Well, I know that all of these are triangles. So I'm going to use this formula here. A is equal to a half base times height. And so that I see that the base here of the base of this triangle is 6, and the height is 5.5. So if I multiply 6 times 5.5, it gives me 31 2/10. Then if I take a half of 31 2/10, that gives me 15 6/10 square centimeters. So this one here is 15.6. 15.6. Now, let's look at the 3 that we can see they're the same. Because this is height of 10, base of 6. Height of 10, base of 6. Height of 10, base of 6. So once I find it for one triangle, my formula, I can find it for all of them by multiplying it by 3. So my base is 6, my height is 10. Now I can say a half of 6, which a half of 6 is 3. 3 times 10 gives me 30. So for one of them is 30, the other one is 30, and the last one is 30. So now I can combine all of these, and I know that 30 times 3 gives me 90. Add 15 6/10, which is my base, to 90, and that gives me 105 6/10 centimeters. So there you have it. I hope that has helped you to be able to work the rest of your problems on pages 261 and 262. Have a great day, and I'll see you in class.